Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. And in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Mandalorian Judge from Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And we're going to get straight into it on this video. We're going to take a look at the card back right now. Now, when this figure was originally pipelined, I've got to say I wasn't too excited about it. But seeing it in hand, it's a pretty decent card back, and the figure looks good as well. And we'll get into the details of the figure in a minute, but just looking at the card back there, Mandalorian Judge. Now, of course, this character was the judge that judged the paintball fight, sort of the training thing between Grogu and that young Mandalorian. I believe this Mandalorian and that young Mandalorian belong to the Children of the Watch clan, or covert, or whatever they're called. They're all the ones on that beach scene at the very beginning of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, VC 321. Yeah, so I was feeling a little bit Mandalorianed out because we're getting so many different Mandos, not to mention the amount of actual main character Mandalorians, you know, Din Djarin, we're getting so many of those. But it's, you know, this one's pretty good. I'm liking the colours, the orange and everything, and he looks pretty much a decent representation of the character from the show. Although I'm, you know, not saying that we actually needed this character necessarily. Maybe a 4-pack of just different coloured Mandalorians would have done it. Not too sure if he actually needed his own card back. But there you go. It's the Mandalorian Judge from Season 3 of The Mandalorian. We're going to crack him open right now and take a look at the figure. And there he is, the Mandalorian Judge, out of the packaging. And as I said, you know, he's a good looking figure. I'm liking the colours on this particular Mandalorian, and the sort of cape goes over his shoulder there. It doesn't get in the way of his jetpack, which we'll take a look at in a second. But I've just got him in a pretty simple pose there, really, just to show you. If you're wondering how they've made this figure, it's essentially a complete repaint of the Mandalorian fleet commander that we got a couple of waves back, except for the fact that obviously this one doesn't have the swappable head. You can't remove the helmet or anything. There's no head under there. It's literally just a helmet on the body. You don't get a separate head or anything like that. But apart from that, it is just a repaint of that figure. And that figure's a great figure, you know, in terms of the, you know, the armor and the articulation of the figure and just the overall look of the Mandalorian. He looks pretty decent. So this one is no exception. He looks quite good. Let's take a closer look at the figure. All right then, so there is a super close-up look at the Mandalorian Judge. You can see there he's got his orange and blue helmet. The paint applications look pretty decent. There's actually some weathering on that orange as well, so it's not just a bright orange. You can see some weathering going on in the cracks and crevices of that helmet. And the rangefinder will work because it is a, you know, swappable helmet rather than a removable helmet. Just see there's his cape. Nice material, just goes over the shoulder there, and as I say, it doesn't hinder in any way his jetpack there. That jetpack could have done with a little bit more weathering on it just to match the helmet, but it doesn't look too bad. And then we just spin the figure around. You can just see all the different colours. So he's got a green gauntlet on that hand and a grey gauntlet on that one. He's got silver pad there, orange pad, so all different colours, and obviously the main body is like a burgundy colour there with all battle damage and scrapes and nicks on it and things like that. So all in all, a pretty decent Mandalorian. He looks decent. The jetpack has that peg style on there, which I believe is quite universal now, so you can swap them out and change them over from different figures if you so wished. And the back of his body there is that green, the same green that they've used on the gauntlet there. So you can move the cape around if you wanted to flow a little bit further on his back, but then obviously, you know, you won't be able to have the jetpack in there. But I quite like it going over his shoulder to match, you know, what he looked like in the show. In terms of articulation, the head is on a double barbell. You're going to get loads of range of motion on there, except for the fact that obviously he's got this cape, so it will hinder it a little bit because it will be a little bit of a tighter fit. We have the ball hinge shoulders with those shoulder pads being attached to the separate piece like so that doesn't get in the way whatsoever. We have the hinges at the elbows with a swivel. We have hinged wrists. Then we have that really good torso. No extra swivel at the waist. We have the new style hips, split at the thigh, which is hidden by the armor. Knee joint could go a little bit further. It's not too bad. Almost goes 90. And then we have the rocker ankles at the bottom there as well. He comes packed in with one blaster, exactly the same blaster we've seen with loads of different figures like Bo-Katan and things like that. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a holster for you to stow it away. So if you don't want him holding the blaster, you're going to lose it basically. So there you go then, guys. That is the Mandalorian Judge. He was part of the wave with Kanan, Ezra, and the Cal Kestis figure. So I will be reviewing the Cal Kestis figure. I also have the other wave with Princess Leia, Darth Vader, etc., Captain Rex. So I'll be reviewing all of those on the channel, so be sure to check them out. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me as always. Thanks everybody for watching, and we shall see you on the next one.